Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns, and today we're going to take a look at this Thompson, or the Cybergun Thompson 1911 CO2 non-blowback pellet pistol. So this is the tabletop video for it. I will not be shooting it at all. That'll be later on, probably next week, where I'll do my field test shooting video, so check that video out later on. Today we're going to focus on specifications, details. I'm going to take some close-up video of this gun. I'll do a walk around and let you see it nice and close. So let's get started. Let's go over the specifications. This is a replica of a 1911 Colt 45 in a more modern looking design. It is Thompson licensed via Cybergun. It does have a really nice stainless steel finish on the slide, and it's basically made out of metal and plastic construction. It has a metal slide, metal magazine, and some plastic parts, including the frame, trigger, hammer, and safety. The full-size dropout magazine holds a 12-gram CO2 cartridge along with 12 pellets that are housed in dual 6-round rotary magazines. I'll show you that in a bit. And it only shoots .177 caliber pellets, not steel BBs. I have seen photos online where BBs are being loaded into it, but I believe that would need some sort of magnet design. I tried it myself, it doesn't work. Now this gun does weigh in at 2.18 pounds or 990 grams, and it has a total length of 8.66 inches or 220 centimeters. The barrel length is about 4.75 inches or 121 millimeters, and it has white dot sights front and backs that are non-adjustable. You're also going to find a nice recessed barrel for added realism with a velocity of 332 FPS. The trigger is double action only, which is quite different than you would find on a actual Colt 45 1911, which would be single action only. And it's nice to see that it has a true to form safety in the correct position, even though it is plastic. And this gun is distributed by Cybergun and made in Taiwan. It does come in a nice box here. Thompson, got your auto ordnance, Cybergun on the other side there. Some information, you can take a look at that real quick if you want to. Freeze the frame if you need to. Thompson 1911 pellets. Of course, you get your manual, right, with some basic information in it. Okay, how to load it, how to load the ammunition into the rotary magazines, how to work the safety, some other stuff on the back, danger, not a toy, all that important stuff. Here is your Allen key to tighten that CO2 in the magazine. And then there's a jamming tool and cleaning rod, it looks like. Okay, so it looks like you can use this to push BBs or pellets out if you need to, or add a little cloth rag in there to clean the barrel out. All right, before I do a complete walk around, I wanted to show you another gun, and this is a Swiss Arms, and it's a 1911 SA 1911, and this is another Cybergun product. Okay, so, but this one happens to be full blowback operation. This is a BB pistol, you know, CO2 BB pistol. Nice gun, I've reviewed this gun before, but they just have a similar look, so I thought I'd compare the two. But if you just kind of look real quick, they look the same. You will notice the triggers are quite different because this is essentially a double action trigger. You need a little more length. This is a single action trigger, so it's nice and short, but they kind of look very similar, right? All right, let's get up close and personal here. Take a nice look here. Try not to get too close to the camera or I'll hit it. Yeah, so hopefully this camera's doing a nice job focusing. So we got our white dot sight on the front there. Nice slide, like stainless finish, sort of like an anodized finish. The rest of it, now this frame is plastic, the trigger is plastic, this slide catch release is plastic, although it is separate from the frame, so it's not molded in. And then you have an actual working safety. You can see here you got your, like, it's locked there, safe, right? So you can't pull the trigger. Trigger's not terrible. Now this hammer just flops around, so as I pull back the trigger, it does move an internal hammer, which pushes this floppy one. That's the best way to describe it, floppy one. No working grip safety at all. Okay, so you got your white dot sight in the back. And you got plastic grips, again, plastic frame. You do have a metal magazine, okay, so nice metal magazine. And what's nice is you pop that open, put your pellets in there, right, one at a time. Not sure if I can see that. Right, there's your valve. And you've got to flip it over, so you shoot 6 rounds, pull the magazine out, flip it over, and you're ready to go. Now if you had more magazines, you could do that a number of times. But yeah, so CO2, metal magazine, 6 rounds, 12 rounds total. And now I can't get it in. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the other side. So you have Thompson Custom 1911. Not only a Thompson, it is a custom 1911. Got some instructions there, or not instructions, but Auto Ordnance Corp. So more branding and licensing. It's got Thompson on the grips as well. Both sides, by the way. Okay. It's a really nice gun. Recessed barrel. I'd show you that it's rifled, but it's kind of hard to see. But I did check it out. I put some light down there and saw that it was rifled. I can attest to that. And here again is some more branding. Right, Mark. You know, it's a pretty nice gun. It feels really good in the hand, and my light just went off. Just got to turn that back on. My light is connected to my heater, so it goes off sometimes when the heat gets too warm in here. So I'm just going to have to sweat it out in order to give you guys the needed, necessary light for these videos. Yeah, the suffering I go through for this channel. Okay, so pretty nice gun. I think it's a nice gun. You know, and to be honest, that trigger's not horrible for a double action, kind of like you got this weird trigger. It's not terribly long, and it's not terribly heavy considering that you're rotating the magazines as well. It's pulling the hammer back. It's got to do quite a bit of work to get that to happen. So the mechanism, whatever they're doing inside, is pretty smooth. So I got to say that. All right, let's talk about pros and cons and then wrap up this review. Again, that double action trigger is not horrible at all. It's fairly light and it's fairly smooth, and so you can do some decent action shooting. Not going to be as quick follow-up shooting as a true single action trigger like you'd find on a conventional Colt 45 1911. And the fit and finish looks pretty good. I just wish that the trigger, the hammer, and the safety were also metal. I just think those are some tactile points that you touch, and just having metal would just feel, you can tell when you're touching plastic and metal, it just feels different. Now this pistol has good weight to it, a little over 2 pounds, so it's just a little under what you'd traditionally find in a 1911. And it is a decent looking replica of a real steel Colt 45 1911. Other than that telltale trigger, the rest of it looks pretty authentic. I like that it has white dot sights front and back. That'll help with target acquisition on pretty much any type of background, dark or light. And I like the stainless steel slide. It gives the gun a quality look, and that recessed barrel also helps with added realism. It also has a full-size metal magazine that holds the CO2 and the pellets, which also does, again, add some additional weight and balance. And the Thompson licensing looks good on this gun. It's not too over the top, just enough. It looks really nice. All right, a couple cons. The trigger, hammer, and safety, I think should have been made out of metal. Would have added just a little bit more weight, but it would have added a little bit more weight, but more importantly, just the touch, the feel would have been nicer. And that hammer is non-functioning. It would have been nice if you could have cocked it. That would have taken a little bit less stress off of the trigger and made it potentially even lighter. And of course, this doesn't really need to be said too much, but it's non-blowback and it doesn't have any sight adjustments, which is kind of what you're getting here. And you know you're getting into that with this gun, so I'm not sure it's really a con. All right, I did want to mention this gun is available in our Canada and should be also available in our US replica airgun stores. I'll put links in the description to buy it. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, you can check out those stores as well over at replicairguns.ca for Canada and replicairguns.us for the US. And also check out our blog over at replicairguns.com where we have articles, posts, reviews. I'll even have one for this video review as well that might have some additional information along with photos for you to check out. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.